There is serious issues happening inside a jail for New York rapper Kay Flock, as we would hear from one of his best friends named B-Love sharing that there's a lot of things happening to him that we don't even know about.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after Kay Flock got locked up because just because I guess, like, you know, in our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie, people, especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
As interestingly enough, right after B-Love shared that, Kay Flock himself would then share this message from his jail cell.
I know what's going on, man. Flock, I know something, man. Like, free me to the guys, man. Hey, yo, like, I'll be back real soon. Shout out to my fans and my supporters, man. I love all y'all, man. For all of you out there, violence, man. For me, and do what y'all supposed to do, man. For me, get through life correctly, bro. Like, get money. So, man, I'll see you real soon.
As fans are getting the sense that Flock's lawyers are trying to get him out of jail as fast as they can for one specific reason. And it all begins with the new court files that read, on December 23rd, 2021, New York rapper Kay Flock, otherwise known as Kevin Perez, was involved in a situation leading to the passing of a man named Oscar Hernandez. On this day, Kevin Perez was walking down the street in New York City. From the photos you see here, Kay Flock is seen walking past a barbershop with two other individuals who is allegedly his sister. Kay Flock, wearing the designer blue coat, was also wearing a shiesty mask as well. While walking past the barbershop, Kay Flock locks eyes with a man inside of the barbershop named Oscar Hernandez. The two lock eyes for around 7 seconds before Kay Flock turns his head and continues walking. While Kay Flock continues walking, Oscar Hernandez quickly leaves the barbershop, screaming at Kay Flock on the street, asking, and I quote, "What are you looking at?" Kay Flock would turn around, and a small argument would then brew up between the two in the middle of the street. With the two getting face to face, Oscar Hernandez makes a sudden movement like he's trying to reach for something in his waistband. However, Kay Flock, seeing that in self-defense, then pulls out his firearm from his waistband, causing Oscar Hernandez to turn around and begin sprinting back to the convenience store beside the barbershop. He wasn't fast enough, as Kay Flock would use his firearm, trying to defend himself, connecting to Oscar Hernandez's back, to which Oscar would then sadly later pass from his injuries at the local NYC hospital. All that was left at the scene was shell casings and Oscar Hernandez's slides that he was wearing. To this day, we're still unsure if Oscar even had a firearm. Why did he make the movement like he was gonna grab for one? And if he never did that, would he still be alive today? Well, the case was cold for 24 hours. No one was fully understanding what just happened or even who committed the crime, as Kay Flock was wearing a shiesty mask when it went down. This was, however, until the NYPD posted this photo of the main suspect, asking for help from the public and see if anyone recognizes him. This tweet would immediately go viral as fans noticed this looks just like Kay Flock. The designer outfit Flock was wearing in the surveillance footage is the same outfit that he was flexing on Instagram Live just a few hours before the crime occurred. The NYPD then put out an arrest warrant for Flock, where Kay Flock and his lawyer would then turn themselves in to the NYPD, where his lawyer would then release this statement. Yesterday, I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were made immediately with the NYPD once I learned that he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have already begun our own investigation into these allegations, but more importantly, considering the DA's significant disclosure this morning of the NYPD receiving a tip saying someone else was the hitter, we demanded the DA's office to provide disclosure of the videos referenced in the complaint and more information on the tip. We will address bail once we have a chance to review the case and further investigate. Now, Kay Flock's lawyer was then given all of the evidence that the feds had, and he truly believes that Kay Flock was acting in self-defense.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. You know, we consider that to be self-defense.
So he did take him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. You know, I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case,
Okay.
but the government claims that he pulled the, but at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a loaded, illegal loaded, apparently about Kevin.
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense. That's the crux.
You know,
of the case.
that could be one of the arguments, self-defense. And I would say to the public, you know, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, it's pretty clear is going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want to?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to pull the.
After the statement was made, the NYPD would then release their statement, as the police believe that this incident was street-related based on K-Flock's documented affiliation with the Bronx-based Third Side Street Team. It was documented that K-Flock is heavily involved in street-related acts. Being a huge name figure in the streets as well on social media, it could cause him to be a main target when his ops see him just walking on the sidewalk. And the NYPD believe this is what truly occurred. Now, due to these reasons, K-Flock and his lawyers are making the claim that this was all an act of self-defense, as his lawyers would then submit the paperwork trying to get a bail hearing with all of the evidence that they have created. This would make news headlines, even making rappers react.
What's it like for you watching the K-Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, so I like that. I like that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges, you know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness he got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying, everything just wake all the young kids up. Like how fat it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be a sad story if that's the end of the
So we ain't gonna think like that, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay positive.
Then once things are looking great for K-Flock and it seemed as if he was gonna be released from jail, it would be announced the following day, and I quote, Bronx drill rapper K-Flock was just indicted by a federal grand jury for a bunch of new racketeering conspiracy charges, also known as RICO. This would have hip-hop creators reacting, sharing, K-Flock just caught a RICO, it's really over. To even DJ Academic saying, the feds just unsealed an indictment on K-Flock for RICO, the mandatory minimum if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch is life in prison. He still is facing the state charges that have him locked up. Pray for him, as this relates very well to what Boosie said about YNW Melly. When the feds want you, they'll do anything to get you.
Now they're putting even more charges on him, and then
when they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted them bad when they waited for that law to get passed. They waited all the way.
Penalty.
So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a fucking mistrial.
Yeah.
That made me like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, after a mistrial, that doesn't happen, really.
As K-Flock should have been easily released on house arrest by now due to the evidence package that his lawyers submitted, but then he suddenly gets hit with a RICO charge. Even his lawyers agree, as they would react to his new RICO charges, sharing, and I quote, "We're not surprised by the federal charges, as we have been defending Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a particularly strong charge. But now that it is being used as a basis for a possible penalty charge is extraordinary. On video, it is crystal clear that Kevin was about to be affected after attempting to walk away from the other person. Only then did Kevin use an item to defend himself from another armed man, a team member who is gonna pull out his item out of his pocket. It's very clear the feds are using all the tactics they can to build evidence on K-Flock to keep him inside of jail. They're even going as far as going at his co-defendant, trying to get him to snitch on K-Flock, as they're asking him for info. Academics would tweet, K-Flock's co-defendant Sticky says that they came to him asking to snitch on K-Flock, and he told them, and I quote, "No, I'll see you in 30 years. Sharing this Instagram photo of Sticky and K-Flock on the street in New York City. It has a caption on it saying, "We did stuff at RL together. Guess we gotta defend our freedom against these people together too. It's all fun and games until them people come. They said, tell us about Kevin, help yourself. 30 years is a long time. Well, I guess I'll see y'all in 30 years. Now this is great and bad news for K-Flock. The great news is his co-defendant is gonna stay loyal to him all the way until the end, and it doesn't seem like there'll be any snitching against him, just like the YSL RICO case. This was, however, until a report the following week would show K-Flock inside a jail, where it's pretty obvious that he was on FaceTime with everyone in the free world, as on these screenshots, K-Flock looks a little worried inside a jail, and it almost seems as if he's been crying inside of his jail cell. It's not looking like the regular, confident K-Flock we're all used to seeing, but you tell me what you think.